Sand dunes are not just dunes of sand there for us to enjoy. They are thriving, stabilising, protecting coastal habitats that have an abundance of wildlife. The type of wildlife we will be talking about today is some species you may never have heard of, from wildflowers to mosses, butterflies to sand lizards. We are hoping to take you through some of the most weird, wonderful, and interesting species we possibly can. Our coastal sand dune system is an internationally important habitat for wildlife. The dune system at Fleetwood is nationally scarce. The sand dunes are some of our most important habitat and we need to protect them. So why are sand dunes so important? Coastal towns like Fleetwood are protected by sand dunes. They are protected from wind, erosion, and also species living behind the dunes are protected as well. Storms cause great damage to coastal towns like Fleetwood, so you can only imagine the importance that sand dune habitats actually really provide. Sand dunes are a sanctuary to unique and rare species. Species like the natterjack toad, the fen orchid, and the sand lizard. Conventional dune management over the years has caused vegetation to grow too much and too abundantly. By removing invasive species, we can improve our wildlife chances and increase the biodiversity along our dune systems in Fleetwood. So what species can be found here? Species you might walk past every single day. Marrow and line grasses. These grasses are super important. Their rhizomes spread rapidly through the sand. They consolidate the sand and help to keep a healthy ecosystem. As well as this, the sand, they allow wind-blown sand to be deposited, therefore creating more dunescapes. It is incredibly important to keep these grasses healthy. Litter can be super harmful to all species on the beach, as you might already know. Dog fouling is an increased problem in the area of Fleetwood. So what dog fouling does is it actually increases nutrients on the sand dunes. Now this is a bad thing, as sand dunes are actually a low nutrient environment. This means that a lot of plants will thrive only on low nutrients, and those that thrive on higher nutrients will take over. So please be more mindful when you're out walking with your dog. Enjoy our dunes, but please pick up after the dog and pick up any litter or take it home. And there's plenty of bins on and around Fleetwood Beach as well. Further into the dune system, harder to spot species will appear into view. Sea holly, a striking plant with blue flowers and one that you will actively avoid standing on due to its spiny white margin, will appear here. Sea holly is a member of the carrot family, which includes cow parsley and feather. It also helps to bind sound on the seashore. Pictured here, sea rocket can be found flowering in the summer. Sea rocket, like marrow grass, has deep tap roots which provide structure throughout the sand dunes. Common red taro is a creeping plant with small pink flowers. It can be seen from July to September. It has extremely tough, thick roots, and in the days of the horse-drawn carriage, could actually stop or arrest a harrow in its tracks. Sea sambar is a native perennial of the UK, growing up to 20 centimetres. It often resembles the leaves of a Christmas tree. In bloom, white and yellow flowers can be seen at the top, pictured here. The coastal leafcutter bee is a species of solitary bee. It is an incredible pollinator for many fruits and veg. It is also incredibly vivid to see. So if you're ever walking along the dunes, please take some more notice of the sand beneath your feet, because to see these incredible insects is an absolute pleasure. The common blue butterfly thrives in Fleetwood. This is due to the presence of its food plants, which is bird's foot trefoil and common rest taro. The common blue butterfly is an incredibly beautiful, vivid species that it is an absolute pleasure to see, and I don't know anyone who hasn't had a smile on their face when the blue butterfly flying past. You can see the common blue butterfly from May to October, and it is quite common on our dune systems. So please keep an eye out for this beautiful blue butterfly. The common lizard is a very special lizard I want to mention, because in particular we have it on our dune systems in Fleetwood. The common lizard is viviparous, which means it incubates its eggs inside its body and gives birth to live young. Now, this is unusual for many lizards. The common lizard gives birth from 3 up to 11 young at a time. You can catch a glimpse of the common lizard both at Russell Point Tower and Larcombe Grassland. We also have hibernaculums at Larcombe Grassland. This is an area in which amphibians and reptiles hibernate. Adults emerge from hibernation in spring, mating in April and May. The sand lizard is one of the UK's rarest reptiles. A Lancashire Wildlife Trust project, the Found Sand Dunes project, introduced the sand lizards from 2018 to 2021. These sand lizards are now actively thriving in the area. We can only be as lucky one day if we look after our dune systems here at Fleetwood to maybe catch a glimpse of this rare visitor. So we've got Holly and Janice here who work on Fleetwood dunes to answer some frequently asked questions for us. So I'd like to introduce Janice from Wyre Council. Janice, I'd just like to ask you, how can people get involved in conservation with Wyre? With Wyre Council, we have a number of volunteering opportunities. Mostly can get through to this about 4 or 5 days a week. If you'd like to get involved, you can find it at www.wyre.gov.uk/volunteering. This is for a weekday volunteering. We also have single-day events that are run throughout the year called Conservation Days. That can be found through our Great Outdoors programme. And then we also have beach cleaning. Most of the ones, if you want Fleetwood dunes, tend to be on a Thursday. They're hosted at Russell Tower. This is during the morning, so basically it's not just about the beach, but it's about the dunes as well. You can go out and do your bit to help your community clean up. So we take care of it that way as well. Again, it's all on the website. And come along, get involved, it's free. Thank you so much. Janice. So I'd just like to ask you, how can people take better care of our dune systems? What can they help? Okay, there's actually a few hints and tips we can employ during the day, and again, they might seem small, but they make a massive difference. So it's great if people can actually take those on board when they're out and about. One of the first things you can do, I think, is when you're walking through the streets, just keep in mind that it's quite fragile habitat. Talking about dry grassland and sand, it's really easy to erode. So we ask people if they can keep the footpaths that are there or along the promenade, then that is absolutely brilliant. It protects the wildlife as well. We get a lot of ground nesting birds, there's a lot of insects that are easily trampled, and things that are easily damaged through a rain. If you use the pathways, it keeps them safe, and that's throughout the year. Again, not during nesting season, but also during the winter season when we have roosting birds. Keeping dogs on leads, that can be really an easy thing to do. But people don't necessarily realise, your dog's chasing the bird, they might actually be trying to nest. So these eggs, they can be really small. They blend in with the pebbles and the landscape. It's so easy to tread on. So you ask people, if you keep your dog on the lead, it helps protect our wildlife that way. And the final one, while it's absolutely great for a town barbecue on a sand dune, bear in mind it's a very dry grassland. They catch fires so easily. So we do ask people to keep barbecues and fires away from the sand dune. Because once they start burning, that's not just the grass that's in danger, it's also the birds that could be about yourself. And like you're talking about wildlife on the dunes, that it's so fragile. So any little thing that you can do to keep that safe, it goes a long way. Thank you, Janice. So that was some fantastic advice there from Janice from Wyre Council. So yeah, just please help us to take a little bit more care of our dune systems. I've got one more question for you, Janice, if that's okay. What makes Fleetwood Dune special to you? I think the obvious answer for that is the wildlife and the species diversity on a dune. You get stuff that only you found on a dune scale. And it changes again throughout the year. Every season is quite different. But one of the reasons is we're working with Wyre Council, and the reason I've taken the job as a ranger is to help protect them. And another side is when you're down on the coast, it's so changeable. The trees change all the time. It's not just the flowers, but it's also being out there in the wild. During the summer, it's really sunny, really cold.
And the next thing you know, you're getting a storm in and it's suddenly really wild. It's very, very different, very dramatic. But I think that evokes quite a lot of feeling and emotion about that. It's just being connected to all of that, being in the middle of that. It can be really exciting, and I actually love that feeling so much. So it's well worth getting out there and feeling that.
Fabulous. Lovely words there from Janet. So yeah, thank you very much for the last day. No. Yeah, so next up we've got Holly from Dynamic Dreamscapes here. So welcome, Holly. Thank you for coming along. Got a couple of questions for you, if that's okay. So my first question: can you tell us about the Dynamic Dreamscapes project and how people get involved?
Yeah, so Dynamic Dunescapes is a national project, and we're aiming to restore sand dune habitat across England and Wales. So we have a lot of sand dune habitat in the northwest, so particularly in Cumbria and also in Fleetwood too. It's a really good example of a sand dune here. So basically, sand dunes are threatened by over-vegetation. So that means where there's too much growth of plants vegetation, and it actually stops the sand being mobile. So we have loss of the spare sand habitat, which is really important for reptiles like lizards, common lizards, sand lizards, also toads and insects as well. So really what we're hoping to do is restore a balance of habitats in the sand dunes. So they have lots of areas of bare sand, which is really important for those species to enjoy. So as well as kind of the wildlife side of things, we also want to make sure that the sand dunes are in place for the community of people as well. So it's a really important place for people to come and enjoy the coast. So yeah, that's one of the main kind of focuses of Dunescapes. In terms of how people can get involved, we have lots of activities going on. So you can join any of these. These are all free activities, which are run by yourself with the bear. So you do lots of events down at Fleetwood. Also Wyre Council with Janice and the Rangers. And also with me at Dunescapes. So we run regular events down at Fleetwood, which everyone can get involved with. So definitely check out our Facebook page, so Dynamic Dunescapes Cumbria, or the Wyre Council website as well. So as well as activities, we also have a citizen science team. So it sounds a bit scary, but it isn't at all. It's open for anyone to get involved with. No prior experience needed. You don't need any kind of science background. It's just for the public to come and learn about sand dunes and how you can help them as well. So basically what we do is run a few different surveys a year, which are led by the ranger team. So one of those is looking at plants. So we want to make sure we've got a good balance of different species and lots of specialised dune plants. And another one is looking at sand dune profiles. And basically that just means the shape of the sand dunes and how different zones change between different habitat types to make sure we've got a good balance of dune habitats for the wildlife.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Holly. So lots to think about there, lots to get involved with. Please check out all our websites that we just mentioned as well. Just got a couple more questions for you, Holly, if that's okay. So can you tell us what Rosa rugosa is and why might it be important to control it?
Yeah, so Rosa rugosa is also known as Japanese rose, and it's that leafy plant with the big pink flowers that you've probably seen along the Fleetwood promenade, so particularly around like the Bolton Rakes. So Rosa rugosa is actually native to Eastern Asia, and it was brought over to the UK about 150 years ago to be used as sort of an ornamental plant in people's gardens. But unfortunately, it's really good for kind of bird food, so birds are eating it, and the seeds have been spread, and it really likes our sand dune habitats. So the issue really with Rosa rugosa is that it grows very, very quickly, and it's difficult to remove. And when it does grow, it grows in very dense thickets, which smother out our native dune species. So it means that we're losing lots of native plants and also the spare sand environment, which I said was really important for lots of insects and other animals. So really what we're hoping to do is to try and control the Rosa rugosa in Fleetwood, so removing it from the sand dune habitat. So it's fine in gardens and it's fine on roadside verges. It's just these particular areas we really want to create more of a balance with our native kind of plants and dune species. So yeah, we'll be removing it from the promenade around the Bolton Lakes. And so you might see a few kind of mechanical diggers around a bit later on in the year, and you might have seen people spraying it with some herbicide. So this is absolutely safe for people, and it's perfectly safe as well for dogs and insects. So it's a specific herbicide that is just targeted for that Rosa rugosa. So it is absolutely fine. Yeah, so we'll be removing those and hopefully get a lot more of our native species back, which is really, really good and much better for our pollinated insects like bees and other kind of plants as well.
Fabulous. Thank you, Holly. Loads of really, really interesting stuff there. But if you do have any more questions, we are more than happy for you to get in touch, and we'll answer anything, any questions you might have, or anything else we can help you with. Please get in touch. So one final question for you: what made our dune system special for you?
Yeah, so I think quite similar to Janice, definitely the wildlife. But yeah, another aspect for me was I grew up in North Cumbria, so we have lots of sand dune systems there, and I grew up on the coast. So I have lots of memories of going to the sand dunes at the beach when I was younger, so with family and friends, having lots of picnics, not barbecues, but picnics on the sand dunes. And yeah, just enjoying running about on the beach and running through the marram grass, getting kind of the marram grass spiking my legs and things, and it just brings back a lot of memories of nostalgia. I think it's something that everyone can enjoy, so you don't need to be a wildlife expert, you don't need to have any particular knowledge. It's something the whole family can enjoy and just go out, get some fresh air, join in lots of activities and explore like the huge diversity that are along the sand dunes at the coast. So yeah, that works really special to me.
Oh, super. Thank you so much. And thanks again, Holly and Janice. That was a fantastic Q&A session there. But if you do have any more questions at all, please get in touch and we'll do our best to answer any questions that you've got. Yeah, thank you so much for listening to our Fleetwood Sand Dune talk today. We are doing more talks over the coming months, so we'll be really happy for you to get involved and join in. And hopefully you've learned something new today. So see you again soon.